I wish I could explain it a different way, but you just can't. Um, because I know, because I've seen it, Joe. They're pumped with disinformation from the time they wake up in the morning to the time they go to bed at night. They're told constantly lies, whether it's on a cable network that they choose or whether it's online. Constant lies, constant conspiracy theories. And so many of people I grew up with and know after the election, they just spit out things that a website run by a Chinese religious cult was spitting to them. And even if I said, you do understand, this is a Chinese religious cult that you're getting information from, they didn't care. They had a choice between the truth and the conspiracies.
The last remnants of the Republican Party died in Iowa.
This is where we are now.
Absolutely agree.
The Republican Party.
Wow, way to go, Iowa.
Well, the other thing is that they kind of took our jobs away from us, because normally on the morning after we would be talking about scenarios for Nikki Haley and Ron DeSantis and how this thing is going to go forward and how New Hampshire is going to play. I don't hear very much of that happening today. Those guys were crushed, and you know, the only logical conclusion you can come to is that punditry at this point about the state of the race and how things are going to go is irrelevant. What you have is this monster who looks strong, and I always go back to what Bill Clinton says: strong and wrong beats weak and right. And as wonderful a man as Joe Biden is, he seems weak.
Well, we will see as he gets out. I liked his speech in Valley Forge. I liked his speech in Charleston. I think we are going to see Biden in campaign launch, but you are so right about the strong and wrong. I mean, Democrats have looked weak for a very long time. I will say, though, Mike Barnicle, we got to have a reality check here. Reality check. I got to say it. It's just the truth. Donald Trump's Republican Party lost in 2017. They lost in 2018. They lost in 2019. They lost in 2020. They lost in 2021. But they got that red wave in 2022 that the media told, oh, no, they didn't. The media was wrong again. They lost in 2022. They lost in elections in 2023. And my money's on them losing again in 2024.
That's right.
Make no mistake about it. This election last night showed there are people who wanted to vote for a guy who said he wanted to terminate the Constitution, a guy who said he'd be a dictator on day one, a guy who said he wanted to execute generals that he didn't think were insufficiently loyal to him, a guy who said he wanted the economy to crash into a depression, which means all of those Iowa voters would lose their retirement accounts. But that's what he said he wanted because he wanted to be elected president again. This is a guy who, again, trashes the United States, trashes our military, trashes our institutions.
Sounds like a traitor to me.
He's not a conservative. He's a radical, focused on one thing: the destruction of any institution that can check his power. Exactly. By the way, that's not just me saying that. Wall Street Journal editorial pages said that. So many other conservatives have said that. And yet, voters say, we'll vote for the guy who says he's going to be a dictator on day one.
Idiots.
Because he's funny. He speaks to us. He's entertaining.
Idiots.
Well, I don't disagree with you, Joe, but I think, we got to take a look at this in a way we have not, Democratic Party at least, has not taken a real look at it. And it is this: you're right, the Republican Party has lost consistently since Donald Trump was first elected in 2016. But guess what? The flip side of that coin is Donald Trump won in 2016. He almost won in 2020. And he's clearly ahead of the field right now and is almost a certain lock to get the nomination to run for the presidency again as a Republican. So we wander around, Chris Matthews, wondering, how could the people in Iowa have ever voted for him? How could 62%, as Joe Klein just pointed out, believe that the election was rigged and that Joe Biden is not the real president of the United States? How could these people have voted for him? And who are these people and why are they voting for him?
Who's Iowa?
We know who these people are, Chris.
Yeah.
They're your neighbors. They're my neighbors.
They're showing who they are.
Them. They don't articulate it to us, but you just know that they're
Exactly.
Trump people.
Yep.
There's a sense of who they are in just
Yep.
talking to them.
Know
Why
who they are.
they like this? Why are they voting for him? I think basically because the United States of America might not have come to terms with what has happened. You, Joe, and I are approximately the same age. For 50 years, we've been carrying the baggage of Vietnam. And the baggage of Vietnam was thrown, a couple of more piles were thrown onto it with the recessions that have occurred, with the collapse of the economy in the mid-2000s and 2008, with their kids having to go to Iraq and Afghanistan. That's what they're carrying. They're carrying the load of history. And the Democratic Party has not yet figured out how to deal with that in dealing with Trump. Your say, sir.
Well, I have to tell you that line of history is real, and I think LBJ and Nixon, even Eisenhower and Kennedy, they all gave us a bad bill of goods, bad facts about Vietnam. They told us we were winning again and again, and we were losing territory, losing the people. The Viet Cong were winning, and I've been watching that series again, and I've been teaching over there. That's always been the big lie, and it led to Watergate and the rest. But now on top of that, there's a new lie. The new guy spreading the lie is Donald Trump. He's out there telling everybody he won. Now, all I have to do is ask right now, if anybody's watching from that point of view, name the states he won that he didn't get credit for. Just name the states. Was it Georgia, where he went to Raffensperger, the Secretary of State, and says, find me 12,000 votes? Where was it that he actually did win? He lies, and they accept the lie. The reason those Republicans, 68%, say he won the election and that Biden is not official, is not legitimate, is he said so. This one guy we're looking at told them that. If he hadn't lied, and the word's lying, if he didn't lie, they wouldn't believe it. It's all him. So the lie continues with Donald Trump, and the tyranny will follow him. And I think the fact that they're willing to accept the lie is they're so angry against the establishment, against the government, against the IRS, to everybody. They hate everybody. They're so angry, and he taps into it. He didn't invent the anger, but he's tapped into it.
Absolutely.
They don't like the establishment. They don't like the economy. They're just very angry.
A bunch of angry
and he is
idiots.
so good at it, and his jokes are always angry jokes. And by the way,
Bunch of angry
just think about
idiots.
those cops defending the Capitol. Which side were you on? The cops
Exactly.
defending the Capitol
Right.
or the mob? Which
Exactly.
side are you rooting for right
Well, they're
now?
voting and
Who's
showing
gonna
you
win that
who
fight
they were for.
Between the mob and the cops.
They were for the
Are
mob.
you law and order? Or are you the bad guys?
Yeah.
And that's what the Democrats should be saying. Which side are you on?
Exactly.
This guy, this tyranny, this liar, who wants to hurt
Let's
women?
draw a line.
What side are you on? I know you're angry, but he's wrong.
Exactly. Period.